There is no doubt that music is the most beautiful of all heaven's gifts to humanity. He gave the world ballets that dance in our dreams, symphonies that thunder like heartbreak. But behind the music of Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky was a man always out of step with the world around him, often with himself. This is the story of the man whose melodies still echo through concert halls and quiet hearts alike. Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky was born in 1840 in the small Russian town of Votkinsk. As a child, he was delicate, sensitive, prone to tears and imagination. Music wasn't just sound to him, it was feeling, sometimes too much feeling. Though his family expected him to become a civil servant, young Pyotr's heart pulled elsewhere. He wrote, "I am a living contradiction. I am either fire or ice. I can never be warm." At age 21, after years of working in law, he abandoned everything to study music at the newly founded St. Petersburg Conservatory. There he would struggle not just with counterpoint and orchestration, but with himself. Russia in the 19th century was no place to be different, and Tchaikovsky was different. He was gay in a time when that meant danger, shame, and silence. He kept his desires buried beneath layers of guilt and secrecy. But in the quiet spaces of his music, you can hear the ache, the longing, the tenderness too dangerous to name. He found escape in his work. His early compositions were promising, but unstable. Then came Romeo and Juliet, a symphonic fantasy that exploded with passion. It was unorthodox, raw, and unmistakably him. But the real breakthrough came with Swan Lake. He took a simple fairy tale and turned it into a universe of aching violins and doomed love. It flopped at its premiere, largely due to a poor production and lukewarm critical reception. But Tchaikovsky wasn't writing for critics. He was writing for the wound inside him. By the late 1870s, he was world famous and deeply isolated. In 1877, in a fit of self-denial, he married a former student. The marriage collapsed within weeks. He fled to Switzerland, then Italy, then into near-suicidal despair. He never spoke of it again. Out of that anguish came Symphony No. 4, a cry into the void. Fate, he called it, knocking at the door. But perhaps the strangest chapter in his life was his relationship with a woman he never met, Nadezhda von Meck. A wealthy widow, she adored his music and funded his life under one condition: they must never meet. For 13 years, they wrote over 1,000 letters. Her support gave him freedom. Her silence gave him safety. With it, he composed Eugene Onegin, the opera of love left unsaid, and then the Nutcracker, now a holiday tradition. Then received mixed reviews, with some critics finding it too childlike or sweet. But in its sweetness, you can hear his dream of innocence he never had. Then came the Sixth Symphony, the Pathétique. It premiered just 9 days before his death. Unlike his triumphant Fifth, the Sixth whispered. It wept. It ended not in glory, but in silence. Tchaikovsky died in 1893 at age 53. Some suspect it was suicide, quietly arranged to avoid scandal. Others say it was an accident. The truth remains tangled in the same shadows that haunted his life. But his music lives, in every falling note of Swan Lake, in every defiant cannon blast of the 1812 overture, in the Nutcracker's sugar-dusted nostalgia. He once said, "Music is my only way out of the anguish of my inner soul." If you've ever heard a melody and felt understood, even when you couldn't explain why, maybe you've met Tchaikovsky. If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe. More poetic lives of artists, dreamers, and visionaries await.